IPPA-Degree-SAG Method Revision 0, 23rd of January 2017. This procedure is based on the method described by Cox and Higby and Joseph and Baier, and is a modification of the IFT method 554. Prepare 3 Ridgely-meter glasses. Masking tape is used to make sideboards on each glass. The strip should cover the top 10 mm of the glass and must extend approximately 15 mm above the glass. Squeezing the tape against the glass, especially under the flange near the top of the glass, will ensure a tight seal which will not leak hot jelly. Use a volumetric pipette for pipetting the 2 ml of tartaric acid to the inside base of each glass. Calculate the weight of pectin used by dividing 650.0 by the value of an assumed grade. Jellies produced by this method should contain 650.0 grams of total soluble solids in 1000.0 grams of jelly. The ratio of the actual weight of total soluble solids in a particular jelly to the weight of pectin in that jelly is defined as the assumed grade for the pectin in that specific jelly. Suppose one assumed a firmness grade of 150. Then you divide 650 by 150. You would have to use 4.33 grams of pectin. Weight into a dry 1000 ml beaker the needed amount of sugar. The sugar could also be weighted in 2 separate containers. Example: suppose one assumed a firmness grade of 150, 650 minus 4, that means 646 would be the grams of sugar to use. Transfer about 20 to 30 grams of the weighted sugar into a dry 150 ml screw cap bottle, or alternatively, into a suitable glass dish, and add the weighted pectin sample. Mix the pectin and sugar thoroughly in the screw cap bottle, or alternatively in the glass dish, by stirring with a spatula or glass rod. Tare the saucepan and cooking whisk on a scale or balance. Pour 410 ml of distilled water into the stainless steel pan containing the stainless steel cooking whisk for stirring. The pectin sugar mixture is now poured into water all at once. Rinse the beaker with approximately 20 grams of sugar from the total sugar amount. Then gentle stirring is started and continued for about 2 minutes. The object here is to get the sugar-pectin mixture under the surface of the water as quickly as possible. When hot water is used, the sugar dissolves too quickly and the pectin tends to stay on the surface and sticks to the sides of the pan. Avoid splashing while stirring, so the pectin is not scattered to the upper parts of the pan. Just before the pan is put on the heater or stove, any traces of pectin sugar remaining in the small beaker should be transferred to the jelly batch. This can be done by brushing the glass with a small paintbrush. The saucepan is then placed on the stove and heated until the contents come to a full rolling boil. Continue stirring during this period. The heating device should be adjusted so that the entire heating time for the jelly comprises 5 to 8 minutes. When an electric stove is used, it should be preheated. When using an induction or gas hob, preheating isn't necessary. The remaining sugar is added in 2 portions. The sugar should be added in 2 portions to prevent excessive cooling of the mixture. For checking the net weight, the saucepan should be taken from the heater only as often as necessary. Heat and stir until the net weight of the jelly batch is 1015.0 grams. The stirrer is to be left in the saucepan during the cooking and waiting period. If the batch weighs less than 1015 grams, distilled water is added in slight excess so that additional boiling will be necessary to reduce the net weight to 1015 grams. The amount of water used at the start should be adjusted by each operator, so that the entire heating time is kept within the 5 to 8 minute range. After the 1015 gram batch is removed from the balance or the scale, it is allowed to be left undisturbed on the desktop for 1 minute. The batch is then poured quickly and without interruption into the 3 previously prepared rejellimeter glasses while stirring with a spatula. It is best to pour very rapidly and without any interruptions until the glass is filled partway up to the sideboards, then to pour more slowly so that the glass can be filled completely full to the point of overflowing. Cool the samples at room temperature for 1 hour, then store for 20 to 24 hours at 25 degrees Celsius in the climatic cabinet. Avoid vibrations. Calibrate the rejellimeter. Check the instrument by placing the 2.5000 inch gauge rod upright on the glass plate under the tip of the micrometer screw. When the tip of the screw is in gentle contact with the gauge rod, the instrument should read exactly 20.0. Both the vertical scale and the vernier knob can be reset, so the instrument does read exactly 20.0. Occasional checking by this method is recommended to ensure that the scale settings remain fixed. After the jellies have been stored for 20 to 24 hours, tear off the tape strips. Draw a tightly stretched wire, clean and wetted, carefully across the top of the glass, while the latter is held upright and is turned slowly partway around, so that a smooth cut is made to remove the layer of jelly projecting above the top of the glass. Turn the jelly out of the glass into an inverted position on the glass plate, furnished with a regellimeter. This is done by holding the jar at a suitable angle, usually no more than about 45 degrees, while pushing the tip of a spatula between the top of the jelly and the jar to initiate the separation of the jelly from the jar. Invert the glass quickly and carefully, just above the glass plate in such a way that the jelly slides out and stands upright near the center of the glass plate. Start the stopwatch as soon as the jelly is on the glass plate. Screw down near to the surface of the jelly. The regellimeter should be used only on a level desk table. Exactly 2 minutes after the stopwatch was started, bring the point of the micrometer just into contact with the top jelly surface. The lowest line on the vertical scale, beyond which the lower edge of the circular micrometer head has passed, is the percent, and the number on the micrometer head nearest the vertical scale denotes the 1/10 of a percent SAG. The regellimeter reading is recorded only to the nearest 0.1. Repeat the measurement with the 2 remaining glasses accordingly. When the regellimeter readings of different glasses from the same jelly batch differ more than 0.6, the batch should be reproduced. Determination of soluble solids and pH of jelly. Take a portion from the middle of the jelly from one of the 3 glasses and measure the soluble solids with a refractometer that has an automatic temperature correction. Spread the jelly on the prism of the refractometer. Quickly close the refractometer firmly and read the percent soluble solids. If using a refractometer without temperature correction, read the temperature of the prism, the water circulating through the instrument, and the percentage of soluble solids after about 1 minute so that corrections can be made later using the correction table in the appendix to bring the soluble solids to 20 degrees Celsius. The pH can be determined by inserting a pH electrode directly into one of the jelly glasses. It should be in the range of 2.0 to 2.4. Calculation of jelly grade of the pectin. Average the 3 obtained percent SAG values and use the table 1 to convert the regellimeter readings to factor F1. Use table 2 to determine the correction factor F2 for soluble solids. Then use the following formula considering the 2 correction factors to calculate the degree US-Sag. Degree US-Sag equals 650 multiplied by F1 multiplied by F2 divided by pectin input. For an accurate result, the gel properties must be within the following limits. Strength 19.5 to 27.0% SAG. pH 2.0 to 2.4. Soluble solids 64.5 to 65.5%. If outside these limits, the jelly should be remade using the obtained values as a guide.